Welcome back, YouTube. My name is Nigel Schroeter, and I want to thank you all for tuning in. Today's video is going to be on why you need a foreign entity when you want to build business credit and credibility. So, establishing business credit when it comes to foreign entities can be beneficial for various reasons, and especially if you're dealing with international business, and your business has interests in different countries. So there's just so many different reasons why you might need to have a foreign entity to build up that business credit. So, for one, of course, global expansion. If you're trying to go around the world, if you want to go to different countries, in the United States, if you want to go to a different state, you have to have a foreign entity so that you can establish credit in that state or in that country, um, so that you can operate there. And that's going to be crucial for expanding your business, um, whether it be nationally or internationally, from the standpoint of someone in the United States. The next thing is going to be local credibility. All right, so when you're a company, for instance, if you are Nike, and you're a huge company, and everyone knows Nike shoes around the globe. I won't say everyone, but a vast majority of people know what Nike shoes are. So you don't necessarily have to establish your company in every country if you're Nike. But if I am, um, Uncle John's Sandal Shack, and I want to expand around the world, I need to build some type of credibility. And potentially that might be through partnering, with some local people and coming up with a name that's, better in that region. And certain companies have different names in different regions so that they can cater to that region, and it builds that local credibility. Um, and it makes your clients trust you more. It adds a personal effect to it, and it can help you with suppliers and different institutions dealing with banks and things locally. If you have that local entity, because if you come to me and you want to borrow money, and then you tell me that your company is out of China, and I'm an American country, I'm an American financial institution, I may say, hey, you're a company out of a different country. Why should we trust you if you're not organized in our country? Why should we lend you money? So that becomes an issue, and that goes right into my third topic: access to local funding. Certain countries have specific finance programs and incentives for local businesses, and that can grant you access to funding in those areas. I can tell you in the United States, depending on the project, certain schools have to be built by a construction company that are within, um, that certain region. And so that's a determining factor as they look for companies, and they say, hey, is this company located in our area, and how much work do they do in our area? And in doing so, they try to keep the money in the community. And so if you organize a foreign entity, that might be an option for you compared to, someone from New Jersey is trying to build a school in Florida. They might say, hey, we're not going to give you the contract because we have other Florida companies that want it. Uh, and that goes right into number four as well: compliance with local laws. So, um, when it comes down to operating, like I was just talking about construction companies, New Jersey has different construction requirements from Florida. And so, with that being said, we also have different requirements when it comes to different countries. And so, they may have specific regulations regarding those businesses and how they operate and taxes and all those things. And having that foreign entity can help you comply with local laws, regulations, and as well as building that business credit. Because in order to get the business credit, you have to do what? You have to have a business, and your business needs to be in compliance. So if you don't have a business and you're not in compliance, how are we going to build, how are we going to build that business credit? Now, number 5, supplier relations. So when you're dealing with suppliers, you know, they might prefer working with someone who has that local presence, and so that they can build relationships with people locally. And once again, if I'm going to a supplier and I want to get credit from them, and I say, hey, I want to be able to pay you back on terms, they might feel more comfortable if they're dealing with a local company, to say, hey, we'll grant you these terms or blah, 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 compared to if I come in with entity from a different company or just as a person from a different country. They're going to look and say, oh no, we're not going to loan money to you because you can just run off and run back to your home country with no recourse. Um, Number 6, tax efficiency. So you want to structure your business um, to where you're going to get the most tax advantages, and that's going to free up capital for your business. And by you having that additional cash flow, that's going to be more income for you to build your business credit with. And so why not, have that foreign entity to be able to allow you to make that additional money? Number 7, market diversification. So when you're building through a foreign entity, you're building your presence in that other country or that other state, and that's going to um, potentially allow you the opportunity to build credit somewhere else where you may have access to more funds, because maybe you come from a third world country where there's not a lot of access to money, and you can create an entity in the United States, and that allows you access to funding from banks in the US, where you're going to be able to diversify as well as pull in more money. Number 8, access to global partnerships. So now when you have um, a company and you want to partner with other companies, once again, which is going to increase your business's growth as well as your business's credit worthiness. When you shoot to do this, if you have that entity, that foreign entity created, it's going to allow you to do that, and that's going to allow you to grow, which is going to allow you to bring in more money, which is of course going to in turn improve your business's credit worthiness when you're trying to apply for credit. Number 9, and I cannot say this enough, separation of liability. So when you create that foreign entity, you separate liability in your international operations from your domestic business, which adds a layer of protection. It helps you from getting sued internationally. You don't want to operate outside of your jurisdiction and end up getting sued, especially because you don't want that lawsuit to come back to your jurisdiction. Whereas if you deal with a subsidiary foreign entity, it's only going to be that entity in most cases that is going to be held liable. And last but not least, number 10, facilitating cross-border transactions. If you're doing transactions across, countries or state lines or provinces, whatever, it all depends on your country and where you're located. Having that foreign entity will make those transactions simpler and easier to conduct, and you'll be able to build credit in multiple countries, and different regulatory environments. So, like I said, for us in the United States, if I want to go open an account with a certain credit union, they may want to see that I have my business formed in their state, and therefore I would need a foreign entity in that other state in order to open that account. And that potentially can open doors for you opening accounts in states where you don't have a formal address or anything, because you may be able to use your home address with your foreign entity in order to get business credit built in other states. Um, so, with that being said, as always, it's important to note that establishing credit as well as foreign entities and business is all complex, but it's completely doable. Um, and these are all quick key pieces to this concept that are going to allow you to be able to advance in your business and build your business to be successful. So we thank you all. Please give this video a thumbs up if you're still watching to this point. Comment below and let me know what you want to see in the next video. And we love you. We'll see you in the next one.